Propelling the cycle of smart DevOps, IntelliCorp continues to deliver smart analytics and automation. The build, test, and deploy phases headline LiveCompare 3.8 with many phase-specific app deliverables. The benefits of running LiveCompare for DevOps include the following. It's 30% cheaper to fix problems in development than production. Achieve 100% test coverage with 15% of the effort. And after test, ensures zero product defects. LiveCompare 3.8 now supports the analysis and comparison of ABAP object versions. We've added more custom code quality analytics and introduced a new support pack custom code impact analysis app called Strider. For the test phase, our impact app now supports a data impact analysis, a faster impact analysis, and improved integration with ALM. Release assurance headlines the deploy phase, as well as compare transport and inactive object versions. In this recording, we'll demonstrate one app for each phase, starting with Strider, to assess the impact of SAP changes on custom code. Then we'll run Impact to analyze the impact of change to find the most at-risk objects. And finally, Release Assurance to help find missing changed objects that should be considered for inclusion in this week's transport bundle. LiveCompare ships with multiple build apps. Let's discuss Strider. Applying a support pack? What custom code will need fixing? Strider can answer that question. Run Strider to find all of your used custom programs that invoke changing objects in your new upgraded SAP environment. Strider also provides other information. Run Strider before impact and release assurance. Select the Strider app. To run Strider, click on the default variant and choose an as-is system. This can be production or a recent copy of production. Then select your target to-be system. This is usually a sandbox that's a recent copy of production and has been upgraded. Choose your production RFC so Strider can obtain all of your used transactions, executable programs, web applications, and smart forms. The Analyze ABAP Quality Select list already has 19 items pre-populated. You can check or uncheck any one of these rules. And click Run. Let's have a look at the results. The Strider dashboard is organized into 3 rows. The first row focuses on impact, the second, quality, and the third row is all about usage. Within the impacted by type chart, we can see that we have 93 used programs, 114 T-codes, and 53 web applications, of which there are 50 executable programs that are impacted, as well as 1 T-code. So what's impacting these 51 used objects? These standard SAP functions, tables, classes, structures, programs, and includes. These are all part of the support pack upgrade. Your custom code directly depends upon these objects. We also do a SPAO and SPDD analysis. The quality dashboard reflects the choices you made in the Analyze ABAP Quality Select list. Hopefully you see a lot of light blue in your chart. Anything in dark blue will need to be looked into. The standard versus custom chart is a good indication of how customized your SAP environment is. Here are your top dev classes. And have a look at all of this unused custom code. Why upgrade these custom objects if no one's using them? Now let's drill into the details. We can now see the full dashboard populated in Excel, as well as information about your as-is and to-be system, as well as production. I see we have 2 years of performance history data from production. The next sheet is the legend. Remember to reference this sheet if you have any questions about the output in this report. Impact. Let's have a look at this first impacted program. We use it in production, and it is dependent upon this function module that changed in the upgrade. Let's have a look at the change. By clicking on the markers on the right, we can navigate to the changes within the code. There's also an impacted bottom-up report. This first displays the changing object, and then all the custom programs that depend upon that object. For example, this class has 14 different custom programs that directly call it. Here are the 14 programs. Let's have a look to see how this class has changed. Looks like there's additional code on line 19. We'll have to make sure that these 14 programs still run okay. The next report is the impacted SPAO and SPDD. These are your modified standard objects. Let's jump into the quality details. Maybe you're upgrading to a HANA environment. Let's filter the category by HANA. We can further narrow it down by the rules. Maybe you're concerned about all of the database hints. This Z program has a database hint on line 22, and this LZ include has one on 36. Quality BDC. These are your custom objects that call standard SAP transactions using BDC. The last report is usage. Let's take a look at this program. It's used 229 times in production by 4 different users, and here's the top user. To see all of your unused custom code, filter total usage and select 0. Here's all my custom code that has not been run in 2 years. I know it hasn't been executed in 2 years because on the home screen, I can see the performance history period is from 2016 to 2018. LiveCompare has many apps that focus on the DevOps test phase. Here are the top 3. Impact has many enhancements in 3.8. First off, it's faster. We improve the collection of used and changing object dependencies by implementing incremental object link updates. An analysis that used to take 8 hours to run now completes in less than 1 hour. Impact now supports changes related to data. We surveyed multiple Impact customers and found configuration is the most common change event. A filtered IMG hierarchy, side-by-side data comparisons, and improved presentation of results help guide you to specific test scenarios related to data changes. For this demonstration, I'll analyze a transport that contains configuration changes. You can copy and paste your transport into here, or if you have a list, you can paste them from Excel. Other options are to analyze objects and Solution Manager charm change requests. Choose the analysis system. This will be your development environment, the environment with the transport or the change. Choose your performance history system. This will be production, where Impact will identify your used transactions, executable programs, and web applications. I'd like to compare the changing objects to a system where the transport has yet to be released. This will be either QA or production. I would like to integrate with a Quality Center project to identify test plan IDs that will need to be tested. And then click Run. Let's have a look at the results. I see I used 380 transactions, programs, and web applications in production, of which 158 are custom. Of all of these used objects, I need to focus on 8 that are most at risk, 1 custom, and 7 standard. I'm happy to see that 5 of the 8 of the most at-risk objects have test plan coverage, but there is a gap of 3. These 3 executables are most at risk, but do not have a related test plan ID in my ALM environment. The transport I analyzed has 54 config changes, mostly impacting the purchasing application area. Let's have a look at the details. I now see the dashboard in Excel with key facts, like the performance history period covering 2 years. Please reference the help sheet to answer any questions you may have about the data within this report. Let's jump right to the most at-risk details. Let's have a look at this Analyze and Compare Material Cost Estimates program. It was used twice in production by 1 user. The transport that we analyzed contained a table, and this program depends upon that table. Let's see how the table changed. I see that condition type 209 has a reference type change of 200 to 201. By scrolling down to the bottom, I can see where in the hierarchy that this table resides. My defined condition types table rolls up to the Treasury and Risk Management node. Let's have a look at the Tested Gaps report. The transaction I need to test does not have test plan coverage. If it did, it would say hit. I can ask the top user on the scenario in which to test this in quality. If it did have a test plan ID, I can take a look at the test hit details. These are the top 3 deploy apps. Release Assurance has a new look with improved additional resource reports. This illustration displays release assurance functionality. There are 2 transports analyzed in this release to production scenario. The app analyzes dependencies for each object within the transport. Take object change number 3 for example. By looking up, all parent objects are found. Looking down discovers all children objects. Any that are out of sync between quality and production and are not part of the release bundle need further investigation. LiveCompare automates this discovery. Let's see release assurance in action. To run the app, select your QA system. Enter in a transport or paste a list of transports. And then select your production environment. And click Run. The results display transport and object information. We analyzed one transport that contains 16 objects. Let's focus on the child objects. There are 2 out-of-sync dependencies related to 3 transports. Click on your report to view the details. Select the child object sheet. The first column displays the transport that we analyzed. The next 2 columns display the type and names of the objects contained within that transport. Columns D and E are the related children objects that are out of sync. Column F are the transports that may need to be considered for release along with the source transport bundle. Let's have a look to see how this first child program dependency has changed. The include in the source transport is dependent upon this program. As we can see, it's not in the target system. The transport that it belongs to may need to be considered for inclusion with the transport bundle. Before we conclude this session, I'd like to spend a few minutes on the Quick Compare wizard. Prior to 3.8, it was only available to LiveCompare editors. It has now been surfaced as an app on the consumer homepage. The Quick Compare wizard is a multi-phase DevOps tool. It supports the comparison of many different object types. It includes functionality to explore and compare versions. It also has the ability to compare object clones. Launch the Quick Compare wizard. Select the 2 systems you would like to compare. Next, choose the object type. Then the name of the object you'd like to compare. And click Compare. The red X indicates that there are code differences. Click on the markers on the right-hand side to navigate the differences. Click this icon to go back. In this next example, let's choose a table definition. Click Compare. The red X indicates that there are attribute differences. A fee schedule field has been added to my system too. I now want to compare 2 custom programs to each other within the same system. Click Derivative Object Compare. Here's the name of my first program. The second program is a copy of the original, and I want to see the code differences. In this next example, I would like to explore and compare versions of this class. Click the Explore Versions icon. I'd like to compare the active version with the same object as it was back on April 20th. Click Compare. This class has several methods. One of them is out of sync, the one with the red X. Click on Code. Here I can see the differences between the active and second versions of this method. The cycle of DevOps never stops. Neither does IntelliCorp's pursuit in delivering phase-specific applications, enabling faster, cheaper, and higher quality output. Increase revenue and decrease costs with LiveCompare 3.8. Thanks for checking out what's new.